Again, we look into a particular section which, on the face of it, may look quite simple, and many of you may even feel of skipping it, but it's very important in the sense that uh, for understanding a lot of problems and to come up with the solutions, not only in this particular chapter, also in the relations and functions, and even in certain cases of calculus. Uh, this particular section is very important. Now let us look what we are dealing with. Now, uh, real numbers are represented on a number line, and its intervals, this particular sections of that number line um, are being brought out, or are being considered as subsets of real numbers. So, and because we are dealing with the real numbers, and because we are dealing with the number line, naturally the subsets are infinite. So let us look at the particulars. And as far as we are, as we are dealing with an interval, it simply means that there are four types: that is closed, then open, and semi-open, or semi-closed. So first, let us look at what is called a closed interval. Now, uh, be very attentive in looking at that particular number line, and and the left and right side of when you draw it in an exam paper notebook, the left and right side ought to have the same length. The arrows are extending. That means it's to the negative side and to the positive side of infinity. And we are looking at two real numbers, as a and b, and not the very important point that the circles which ought to be the same size, the circles are darkened, which indicates that points which that points a and b, which are real numbers closed. So it simply means that when you create a particular set, you ought to include those numbers, that's a and b. And also look at the brace, that means the brackets which are boxy brackets, so a and b within box like brackets. Now, how do you denote it? It's a set of all real numbers x such that a is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to, less than or equal to means that a and b are also included. So that's the meaning of it. And how do you represent it in the set builder form? It's x is an element of real numbers such that a is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to b. For example, if you are taking in the case of -2, 2, then it's written as x is an element of R such that -2 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 2. Which implies it means that you have to, this particular set contains elements of real numbers between -2 and 2, which includes the end points. Now, after close, we are looking at the open case. And if you have been looking carefully at that particular number line, you must have seen that in the previous case we were dealing with black uh, uh, darkened squares. In this particular, sorry, darkened circles. In this particular case, the circles are, of course, I have drawn it. I mean, when you're drawing it by handheld method, the circles on may come up in different size, but when you are drawing it, the circles ought to be of the same size. And you can see that the circles are empty, which means that the real numbers which indicated by a and b are not included in the set. And once again, the number lining is extending into the positive and negative infinite directions. So how do you represent it? And one more important point is that not how the this particular subset is represented inside brackets. You can see that the brackets are curvy, and also you can draw it like a slash like thing, and so that's how you represent. So how do you put it in the self builder form? That's uh, AB is X is an element of R, and here instead of being less than or equal to, it is just less than. So A is less than X is less than B. Simply implies that A and B are not in the set. And once again, what about the real numbers lying between 1 and 2, which doesn't include 1 and 2? In such a case, we are dealing with an open interval, which is a subset of real numbers. Naturally, we have to look at the half case. Half case which means that one end is closed or open. First, we are looking at the semi-open case, and as you can see, it's designated based on the particular side. So you can see that in semi-open case, you have the empty circle which is followed by the darkened circle, and once again the real numbers A and B, and as you can easily surmise, it's A less than X, which is less than or equal to B. That's X is an element of real numbers such that A is less than X, which is less than or equal to B, which simply means that B ought to be included, but A is not included in the set, or in the subset of the real number which we are referring to. And this interval ends with, of course, semi-closed case, where it's the other way around. That is, you have the darkened circle coming up first, followed by the open circle. So be careful about how the braces are done. That is the boxy bracket coming first, followed by the curvy bracket. So X is an element of R such that A is less than or equal to X less than B. Now, when you are taking such subsets of a number line which represents the real numbers, what does particular brackets denote? Naturally, if it's a closed interval where there's 0 alpha, in the sense that at one end we have 0 and other end it's extending to infinity. Naturally, it can be easily seen that we are dealing with R plus, that is the set of all non-negative or the set of all positive real numbers. The opposite is, of course, set, that is R negative, that's a set of negative real numbers. And if you put the curvy braces within the symbols of infinity, that's minus alpha, alpha, naturally it's a set of R, that is a set of all real numbers. Thank you.